Activists on the mainland. They were detained last month for planning demonstrations against sexual harassment.
I think it's a shame. How come 5 women try to persuade the people of Beijing to pay attention to the sexual harassment and then become a suspect? I mean, it's totally outrageous.
Mainland authorities arrested a group of female activists ahead of International Women's Day last month for trying to raise awareness about violence against women. 5 of them remain in criminal detention awaiting prosecution. Local activists marched to the central government's liaison office this afternoon calling for their release. They also demanded the immediate release of Liu Xia, the wife of jailed Nobel laureate Liu Xiaobo. She's under house arrest in Beijing. Many people paid respects to their ancestors and deceased loved ones as Hong Kong marks Qingming Festival today. Some worshippers say the offerings were more expensive this year. Ronnie Samtani reports.
It's tradition to honor the dead during Qingming Festival. Today it was no exception. Many people flocked to various cemeteries around town, burning paper offerings and sweeping graves. At the Diamond Hill Cemetery, families brought along different items to pay homage to the dead. Others went to Columbaria to remember their deceased loved ones. This year, Qingming Festival coincides with the Easter break. This man noted that because of the long holiday, there were fewer people out today sweeping graves. This woman said this year's offerings were about 10 to 20% more expensive than a year ago. But because she has to pay respects to her ancestors, she has no choice but to buy them every year. Over at the Asia World Expo, a Qingming Festival shrine was set up. 8,000 Chinese people from different regions took part in traditional ceremonies. Dozens of hill fires have been reported, including this one in Yunlong. The blaze broke out near a gravesite, sending gusts of smoke to nearby residential areas. The Food and Environmental Hygiene Department put up banners at various cemeteries, reminding the public to be careful when paying respects to the dead. And over in Chim Sa Tsui, several groups placed wreaths outside the cultural center to remember those killed in the June 4th Tiananmen Square crackdown in 1989. Members of the Hong Kong Alliance in support of patriotic democratic movements in China, the League of Social Democrats, and the Tiananmen Mothers observed a minute of silence in memory of the victims. Members of the public also took part, placing flowers to pay their respects on this Qingming Festival. Ronnie Samtani, TVB News.
A public swimming pool in Tsuen Wan closed this afternoon due to a shortage of lifeguards. It is understood that many of them took sick leave to protest against what they describe as a manpower shortage. A number of people arrived at Shingmun Valley Swimming Pool only to find out that it was closed. The Leisure and Cultural Services Department said due to an insufficient number of lifeguards on staff, the pool had been temporarily closed until further notice to ensure safety. 7 lifeguards were supposed to be on duty this afternoon, but only 1 turned up. A union group said it met the department last month to discuss increasing the number of staff, but that the 2 sides failed to reach a consensus.
To Malaysia, where the Prime Minister's chief of staff and a former ambassador to the United States were among 6 people killed in a helicopter crash. Witnesses say the chopper exploded